Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining us in our video this week. Have you ever felt guilty after snacking? Like you just can't stop. You totally blew it. Well, we've heard people overtalk this all the time about not being able to stop once they start. So we're going to talk about that and dive a little bit deeper of what's really happening. Before we do, let me introduce ourselves. I'm Hannah Hips. This is Sierra Spencer. We're eating psychology coaches, mind body nutrition coach. Sierra is a diet recovery coach, and I'm just all about the slow down life. So, we are here just to help you find a healthy relationship with food to make it more simple and easy where it's not consuming your life. So, let's really talk about what's happening when we feel guilty with snacking. So, guilt creates a mental stress, which automatically fuels that binge restrict cycle. Have you ever been on it where it's like you binge and then you feel guilty and then you're like, okay, I'm never going to do that again. I'm going to throw away all these cookies. I'm never going to do it again. And then the next day you do it all over again. Um, the more that you say, I can't do something, the more you're going to want to do it. So, have you ever, when you snack, you feel bad about it? Just what I just said. Like, you're like, oh, I already blew it. So I might as well just go all in and just make myself feel even worse. So that guilt is not creating good behavior and good patterns with our relationship with food. So also, guilt does not equal motivation. Guilt equals deregulation. So it messes up our wanting to eat healthy because we feel guilty about having a cookie at lunch. And so we're here to help you find like what's really going on. We're going to talk about the science.
Reminds me of one of our clients that we worked with this past year, and she had a huge breakthrough with Girl Scout cookies, right? So it was like, this is like the perfect example, right? The more that you're stressed out about eating the Girl Scout cookies, it would be like the more she ate, right? Like her fiance would leave and she would just like eat, neat, 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 neat. Um, and working through our program, doing coaching together, she had a huge breakthrough where she's like, I had one or two Girl Scout cookies and then I felt satisfied and done. I didn't feel the need to just say, screw it. I blew it and just eat the rest of the day, right? So let's jump into some science. So let's talk about stress, digestion, and your nervous system. So when you feel guilt or when you feel stress while you're eating, so think you're snacking and you're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be doing this, or this is bad, or I'm eating too much. Okay, so your body doesn't know the difference between a real stressor, a real threat, like a bear is chasing you, and your perceived threat in your brain. It still triggers that fight or flight stress response. It's called sympathetic dominance. So, this suppresses your body's ability to digest and absorb and metabolize food. So, think about it. Your digestion, your gut, when it's in a stress response, shuts down, which makes sense. You don't want to all of a sudden need to go to the bathroom or like you're going to poop your pants, right? If there's an angry bear chasing after you, we don't want digestion going. So it shuts down. Now, your digestion shuts down the same with your thoughts, your negative thoughts, your fears. You're like, oh my gosh, I shouldn't be doing this. Okay. So, to fully digest and utilize the food you're eating, you need to activate the parasympathetic nervous system, so also known as your rest and digest, because the way that you eat matters just as much as what you eat, okay? How you eat matters. So, let's do a little bit of eating psychology 101. Okay, we're going to talk about the cephalic phase digestive response here. I know lots of sciencey words, but we're going to call it CPDR for short. So basically, the cephalic phase or the head phase of digestion is bringing full awareness and making sure you're paying attention when you're eating. So if you're eating while you're distracted, you're anxious, or you're rushing around, your body is not actually able to fully digest. Okay. So researchers estimate as much as 70% of your total digestive response starts in your brain. So if you're completely not paying attention, okay, let's do the math here. You're not digesting fully. So, the cephalic phase starts when you start smelling, seeing, and tasting food. So, when you bring awareness to your eating, you ignite the full digestive process. So, your mind and your body are working together. Let's talk about okay, so what do we do? So, what if I do want to snack? And I do want to, maybe you are snacking. So, How do you do that without feeling guilty?
Yeah, how do you do that? So a lot of the times, we feel guilty because we hear carbs is bad, sugar is bad, and if we eat it, then we're bad, right? And we're going to
Yep.
get sick and we're going to get diabetes. So what can we do to support ourselves? And that's really what Sierra and I do is like we teach you on how to support your body and nourish it rather than trying to remove the foods that you don't want to eat anymore, right? Because it doesn't work. How many of us have it tried and it doesn't work? So maybe, really focus on like, are you snacking all day? Are you eating full nourishing meals or not? How are the balance of your meals? Are you eating a good balance of protein, fat, and carbohydrates? So what you want to do is begin to focus on that and like think of how can I add more balance into the meals that I'm eating? And that's going to help you regulate your blood sugar, which then is going to make you feel better. You're going to have more sustainable energy, as well as you're not going to have these cravings and you're not going to want to snack all day or eat the foods that necessarily don't always want to eat. Also, make your meals a priority. So, really thinking about how many of us skip meals all the time, like skip breakfast, lunch, dinner, skip one of those because we're rushing around and we don't get a chance to actually sit down and eat. So, really focusing on making an effort to make time for your meals, to make sure that we're not skipping the meals, that we're giving ourselves adequate time to have breakfast, lunch, and dinner. I'm not saying you need an hour or even 30 minutes, but when I'm saying time, it's like presence. How can we be more present with our food that we're eating? And the last thing, slow down, kind of ties in with this last part in the last one that I said, like slow down, breathe, taste your food. Think of like guilt-free eating helps you metabolize better. So when you're like allowing yourself to enjoy what you're eating, your body can actually absorb the nutrients a lot better. It can pull all what it needs. You're going to feel more satisfied. You're going to feel better about what you're eating. So just remember, it's like slowing down, being present, and just allowing yourself to enjoy what you eat.
And so, if you're ready to let go of that food guilt and feel more at peace with eating, even if it's snacks or sweets, I want you to join and get on the wait list for our Empowered Eating Inner Circle. We dive into these psychology based tools to help you stop obsessing and start trusting yourself again. Because feeling guilty about what you eat is actually not normal. You should be able to eat in peace and have fun with eating and really just not think about food. It should not be always on your mind except for when you're hungry. You're like, oh, I'm hungry, I should eat, or I want to eat something. And that's it. There really shouldn't be a lot of more focus than that around your food. If there's some red flags, and no problem. Like, let us help you. We can hop on a food roadmap call. We can look at what you're doing throughout the day, give you some pointers, and jump on that wait list. It'll just give you some more information about what we do. And when those doors are open, you'll be the first to know and get all the details. So thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.